weekend to all of you from Comcast Sportsnet and the IHSA. What a couple days we have in store for you. Fans continuing to file in here to Husky Stadium in DeKalb. Of course, this journey started in late August for most of these teams, and this weekend, 8 of them will reach the final goal that they set on day one. Hello and welcome. I'm Kelly Krall. Thanks for joining us this evening. We're already halfway through day one of the 2015 State Football Championships here in Illinois. 2 teams, in fact, have already hoisted their hardware from this year, and we'll take a look back at those games before previewing our next game, the 3A state title game. But the first game of the afternoon, the Class 1A title, Arcola knocked off Stark County 35-17. A perfect season comes to a close with some very nice hardware for the Purple Riders. And then in 2A, just moments ago, closing out the season, Tri-Valley dominated from start to finish over Auburn, 41-8. The final in that game, of course, as I mentioned, still 2 more games in front of us tonight. Bishop Mac and Unity coming your way in just moments, followed by the 4A championship game between Chicago Phillips and Althoff Catholic from Belleville. And if you're not full of football and food quite yet, we've still got plenty more in store for you tomorrow. Class 5A kicks things off at 10 a.m. and 6A scheduled for 1 p.m. Take a look at those matchups. We got some good football in front of us. Glenbard West and Libertyville going toe-to-toe. That is your 7A state championship game, supposed to be around 4 p.m. if all goes as planned, and then your 8A title game capping off the night and a big weekend of football here in Illinois. It's Loyola Academy and Marist. A fantastic weekend of football, and speaking of fantastic, guys, for this game we've got one of the best in the biz up calling the game, Dave Bernhardt and Mark Lindo. Why don't you guys take it away, gentlemen?
Will do, Kelly. Thank you very much, and pleasure to have you with us here as the temperatures continue to fall here in DeKalb. Well, for Bishop McNamara along with Unity, they're only a little over an hour apart, but their roads were different to get to this ball game. For Unity, struggled through the season, 3 losses, but they avenged 2 of them in the state quarterfinals and semifinals, knocking off Monticello, scoring in a final minute of play. And then on the other side, it was the win over St. Joe Ogden on that snowy, cold day 1 week ago. Bishop McNamara, they've rolled, knocking off Byron, and then a big win over IC Catholic, a team they defeated in the first game of the season. So you have to win 4 games to get here, but Mark, for these 2 teams, through 13 games, so it's kind of a different story what Bishop McNamara did and Unity did.
Absolutely. McNamara has been dominant all year long. Incredible margin of victory. Unity trailed in both the quarterfinal and semifinal games, but right now both teams playing at a high level, a championship level.
Let's take a look at a couple of the running backs you'll see in this ball game. First of all, for the Unity Rockets, it's Chandler Cousins.
Chandler Cousins is 5'8", 170, just a little guy, but he plays big. He wants to run a physical style. He's durable. 34 carries for over 100 yards in the semis, 1,356 on the season, 24 touchdowns. Expect, Dave, 20 to 25 carries for Cousins today.
And you can expect about that same amount for Jonathan Ward, a young man who folks here in DeKalb are going to see a lot of, but not for the Huskies.
No, he's a Central Michigan recruit, a good time, big-time recruit for them. 2 times All-State, consensus All-Stater this year, a 4-year starter, has school records for yards and TDs, and an unheard of over 2,000 yards rushing this year, 35 TDs. Electric, a video game kind of runner.
2 great programs with 2 great coaches, 63 years of head coaching experience combined. Coming up is a 3A championship ball game. It's Unity and McNamara, and it's coming your Wex on Comcast Sportsnet. 3A championship game. The Unity Rockets playing for the title game for the 5th time in their history. They have 4 second-place finishes. For McNamara, it's the 8th time they've been in this game. 4 state championships, the last one, though, coming in 1987. The Rockets and the Fighting Irish coming up next. Great to have you with us. Just moments away from getting started in your 3A championship ball game. McNamara out of Kankakee and the Rockets from Tolono, Illinois. And for Unity, Mark, it's interesting. If this game had been played in Champaign, it would have been a 7-mile trip instead of a few hours to get to DeKalb.
Long bus ride. They stopped, had some dinner along the way, got back on a bus, ready to play football after a brief workout in the Jordan Center, Chesapeake practice facility.
An onside kick to start it here for the Rockets, and McNamara will have it in great field position to start inside the 45-yard line. So Unity won the toss. They deferred. The whole plan was to go onside, and instead it'll be number 10 leading the charge for Bishop McNamara. That is Kobe Shutter. Shutter throws the ball. He's also a running threat. Big man there at quarterback. Shutter 6'5" and 180.
2-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio and big plays, usually 16, 17 yards per completion.
Jonathan Ward to get that first pitch. Ward to the outside. Ward with speed. Jonathan Ward, can he get there to the 10, 5, 56 yards? That's how we start this game.
56 yards on a toss sweep. He went over right tackle and squared his shoulders up, went vertical, took it down the far sideline, had pretty good balance. See, this is a toss sweep, good kick out block by Jericho, and a nice turn at the 50-yard line. Great job by Jericho Johnson. Then look at the cutback. Look at the change of hands. And then it was Katie Bar-the-Door, speed personified by the touchdown machine.
Jonathan Ward, his 33rd rushing touchdown of the season. And the extra point drilled through, and with 15 seconds gone in this game, McNamara comes to Brigham Field, and they take an early 7-0 lead.
Jonathan Ward was the feature on our open. Look at those shifty hips. Great job with vision, then the balance right there. Make a man miss, then the cutback. Picked up a nice block, reversed the field, and he kind of knows where the end zone's at, doesn't he? He's visited 33 times on the ground, 3 times on a pass, 36 times to pay dirt. A flat-out electric runner.
He starts this championship game that way. He closed out the semifinal against IC Catholic with 4 touchdowns, part of a 196-yard rushing day.
One of only 5 athletes, football players in Kankakee history to rush for over 2,000 yards in a season.
One play, 56 yards, and all of 15 seconds. It may have been a 56-yard run yardage-wise. That was about a 100-yard run from right to left.
And the amazing thing is they get the short field to work with after the onside kick. A simple toss sweep that you thought was bottled up, I thought was bottled up. So did about 8 or 10,000 other people. And all of a sudden, Jonathan Ward, he's special, and he showed it on his very first touch. We said he'd get 20 to 25. He's 1 for 1.
So the onside kick backfires for Unity. No, I think if that ball had gone down to the 6-yard line on a deep kickoff, I think we would have seen the way Jonathan Ward was moving. He'd have taken it the distance as well. This kick from Anderson will go deep. And stopped right there is Steve Miggett. Miggett will be helped to his feet. Make that number 5, Jaden Kaiser. Kaiser with the return. And speaking of Stephen Miggett, he will bring his team onto the field. Sophomore quarterback, 6 foot, 165 pounds. And Miggett completes 63% of his passes. He rushes for over 1,000 yards. Here's a guy, Mark, that has combined about 3,000 yards in total offense and just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore, and his job right now, as you see the graphic that you just alluded to, is already to steady his team. They just got, took the first punch by Bishop McNamara, and right away he's got to steady his team, just get back into an offensive mode.
Miggett, no gain on that first carry. Here is that offensive unit for the Rockets. You mentioned Miggett, and it is a spread offense. Chandler Cousins, we talked about him, but Connor Hyde, Skylar Shepard, Cameron Reifsteck, along with Jaden Kaiser, they will split the time, the carries, the catches, and then the offensive line. Zach Gadbury, he's a good one. Maybe the best lineman that Scott Hamilton has had in his 22-year career in Tolono.
Miggett 113 yards in the semifinal win last week.
Short couple of yards there for Cousins. The defensive unit for Bishop McNamara, they've given up almost 18 points per ball game, but keep an eye on Jared West on the end. Dylan Deathridge, he's a big man up front. Good linebackers led by number 5, Jericho Johnson, the all-time tackling leader, 2-time All-Stater for Rich Zananti at Bishop McNamara, and then a secondary that can flat out go get it.
Right now, Bishop McNamara 7 in the box, filling gaps, and they're really going to tee off on the running game.
Miggett spins off an attempted tackle. Now to the right side. Jared West stuck Miggett. Miggett's able to survive yardage, but it will be 4th down.
Jared West, just a really strong rush from the backside. He was able to elude him, but he put a pressure on him, flushed him out of the pocket to where pursuit happened. Miggett with a good job getting rid of the football as to eliminate any sack possibility, but right away, McNamara should get decent field position on just their second touch of the football game after their defense gets a 3-and-out after the opening score.
And a couple of threats deep for McNamara will be Dylan Post along with Chris Bell. There's Dylan Post, a 5'10", 160-pound junior. Left-footed kick, Jordan Fisher. Here's Post. And the Fighting Irish will start this drive in Unity territory, right near the 45-yard line of the Rockets. 35-yard punt from Fisher, an 8-yard return. Last time McNamara had the ball, it was 1 touch and go, a 7-0 lead.
Offensive line for Bishop McNamara, a very solid one. Good blockers at the point of attack, and then they usually get a double team on the linebacker, and it is always Jericho Johnson, the All-Stater, that is the one leading Jonathan Ward into whatever hole the double team.
Here it comes to this side. Not this time. Great penetration, number 58, Zach Spencer. Here's that Bishop McNamara offense. Been on the field all of 2 plays. I already told you about the backfield. Chris Bell, number 7, has scored a touchdown in every game this year. You see West and Deathridge going both ways, and the rest of that offensive front, Brandon Lowe, Brendan Paquette, Steve Tatro, and Nick Marion.
You talk about Bell, he is their best receiver. He's a big-time prospect. Last week, they only threw the ball a couple times, but he scored on a kickoff return.
Again, negative yardage, and this time it's number 59, Zach Gadberry. The All-Stater, 6'2", 275-pound senior, going both ways, has a knack for making big plays on the defensive end, and this is the defense. Gadberry leading that unit up front, along with Snodgrass, Thorson, Eisenmenger, and the active linebacker, Traxler, Spencer, Parks, and secondary. Recognize a lot of these names going both ways too. Reifsteck, Fisher, Montgomery, and Kaiser.
Gadberry will play the 3 technique. He's normally going to line up between guard and tackle. His job is just to obliterate blocking schemes with McNamara up front.
On 3rd and 16, Shutter with the completion. First down to Bell. He'll take it to the 30-yard line. So on 3rd down and 16, they get 19. Move the chains.
Bell with great hands. Nice pass by Shutter, but Bell gets both his hands up on the little bit of a skinny post. Well thrown ball. He had inside position on the defensive back Reifsteck, and he made a nice catch and moves the chains on a 3rd down conversion.
Chris Bell, big-time college prospect. Just a junior. Johnson. Get 3.5 yards. Have already stuck hard. Jonathan Ward, we should say, 6-foot senior. See, Ward, he admits, I try to play this game with a chip on my shoulder.
He is just so shifty with his hips, and you know, you don't see too many I formations anymore, but that's the philosophy they've run with for 41 years. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And then you have a big-time blocker out front in Jericho Johnson. What a nice compliment he is to Jonathan Ward.
This time it's Johnson. Fullback plows through another first down. Jericho Johnson came into this game 709 yards rushing. You can add 11 to that.
We just mentioned his blocking prowess, but you know what? When he's your secondary runner and he can go for 8.5 a pop, big hole on the right side, he comes right at you downhill, where Ward is more elusive, shake and bake through your hips. Jericho Johnson will just say, I'm coming at you, stick me.
First down from the 15-yard line for the Fighting Irish. Ward inside the 10. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. 8 yards on that pickup for Jonathan Ward.
Great kickback block. It was by the normal wide receiver, Chris Bell. See if we can get in your picture. There's a nice block right there at the point of attack. And then a great job by Dylan Post not having any kind of illegal block in the back. He avoided that. 2 good fundamental plays. One guy making a play, another guy making sure he did not make a mistake on positive yardage.
Second down and 2 for McNamara.
It's a well-coached team that plays mistake-free football.
Johnson, first down, Moore, legs churning to the end zone, touchdown! Touchdown run for Johnson, makes it a 13-0 lead.
5'10", 193. You talked about him being the leading tackler in history. How about that? He just carries a man in Toby Traxler into the end zone for the touchdown. Little inside handoff, fullback up the middle in the red zone. McNamara scoring at will their first 2 possessions. This one took a little bit more work, but still right at him with one big third down conversion involved in that.
Dylan Anderson makes this a 14-0 game. A touchdown drive of 56 yards on one play. This one only 45 yards. It took them 7. 2 touchdown lead early for the Fighting Irish. On the first score, it was an onside kick that McNamara recovered, leading to the short touchdown drive. Here it was a short punt and a decent return, only 45 yards. And that man right there, Jericho Johnson, finished it off with a 7-yard touchdown run. So Unity will get their hands on the ball for the second time this game. The second possession offensively is significant for Unity and the Rocket fans.
Well, it is, because Scott Hamilton, their head coach, calls the offense, but Tony Reitz, the offensive line coach, always calls the second series of plays in the first half. He makes all offensive line calls the whole game, but he gets an opportunity as an assistant coach to have the second series to get his feel, and Coach Hamilton feels that that gives his assistant some ownership, as well as gives him a feel for what he's seen breaking down film. So really good coaching and an innovative kind of coaching philosophy exemplified by Scott Hamilton.
This ball hangs up in the wind to Jaden Kaiser. Kaiser, pretty good head of steam, doesn't get to the 30-yard line. The wind about 14 miles per hour coming out of the north. Temperature 33 degrees. With that wind, it feels like it's 23. 14-yard return for Kaiser.
Well, critical series already for Unity because they've given up 2 quick scores to McNamara, and they have to answer in a hurry. Now, this is a team that can put some points on the board. They've been in the 40s, they've been in the 50s in the playoffs. They have 42, 55, 41, and 30, so they can score.
And it's an offense that is multi-dimensional. They have the wind at their back here for the final 7.5 minutes in the first quarter in your 3A championship game. Cousins had an opening momentarily, closed down after a 3-yard pickup. We talked about Dylan Deathridge. He wears number 75. How about a junior that stands 6'6", 255 pounds? There's Steve Miggett. Miggett's quite a story as well. He kind of struggled as a sophomore would early. The coach thought, well, maybe we gave him too much to handle early, and then all of a sudden it clicked in about midway through the season. And not coincidentally, that's when the Rockets started winning.
Well, the playbook was fully in. He wasn't quite ready for it. Look at this delay pass.
And flags fly.
So they had to allow Miggett to kind of grow into his own, as you see the procedure call. And he did just that. They felt they needed him in there because of his speed, his acceleration, his ability to make big plays.
Illegal shift, offense, number 15. Penalties refused, 3rd down.
Here are our officials today. The referee you just heard from, David Maddock, the linesman, John Carl's the umpire, the line judge Kevin Bird, and Andrew Sepich is the back judge, and they have dressed for the conditions here tonight.
No doubt. And, you know, right now, 3rd and 10, what McNamara's defense has done is made Unity one-dimensional right now. You know, you usually have about 85% of these plays are the pass variety.
Make it 2 throw. And no. On the opposite side of the field, all the fans that came down from the Champaign area thought that it may have been a tiptoe inbounds. Take a look at it.
Want some time with the rollout. It is a straight design roll. Watch him. Throws off his back foot just a little bit. And laying out or taking off with his feet to catch the football, carry him out of bounds with Reefsteck. So good call by the side judge right there, right on the play.
For the second time, Fisher will have to punt. Opportunity for a return here by Bell. He's going to retreat. Waits for some blocks, and he gets them. And down he goes, and so do penalty flags right at the end, just as Bell was down. But you could feel the excitement whenever he touched the ball.
Well, you know, we hope we get a chance to see his abilities. They do not throw the ball an awful lot. We saw him have a big 3rd down conversion, but he is a Division I prospect, about 6'1". If he gets to 6'2", 6'3", he'll have all the big-time programs after him with his ability to make plays in the open field.
41-yard punt, a little bit of negative yardage on the return. Add 10 more that way, and it will be by far the worst field position for McNamara here in the first quarter with 6:24 to play.
So Unity's adjustment defensively, I don't think will be an adjustment. They have to stay in their game plan, and that is stop the run, stop the run. Easier said than done when you have the punishing ground attack that McNamara has.
First down.
See if we can see that block in the back here. And well, I think any one of those people right there could have been called for it, maybe another coming up. And when you have a man like Bell who's reversing his field and you're waiting for that defender to turn around, sometimes he just doesn't.
See, 8 in the box right there. Well, look at all those white shirts. Count them up.
Ward's able to blow through. For the first time he touched the ball, he took it 56 yards. On the stop, number 4 there is Cody Montgomery. 89 tackles coming in to this ball game.
Good solo by Montgomery. So Ward was able to make 1 miss, but Montgomery's there to finish the deal. And it's all about numbers. Offensive football is all about numbers game. You try to get an advantage. Defensively, you try to fill every gap. So right now, just 5 offensive linemen. McNamara a little bit of spread, which they don't do a whole lot of.
Ward with just 7 yards in his last 5 carries after that 56-yard touchdown run. Now to the outside is Ward. He'll get it in a little bit different manner this time, and he has enough for the first down. So as soon as we say 7 yards, 5 carries, Ward has an answer.
The offensive coordinator, Jack Roney, did a nice job there because we talked about the fact that they don't spread things out much. They went twins both ways, couple slots. They put Ward in motion where he had a little bit of a jet sweep action, was able to turn the corner, use his acceleration ability, and pick up a big chunk of yardage, his biggest since the first touch of the game.
12 yards on that run for Ward. 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns for the Fighting Irish. 2 possessions for Unity and 2 punts.
Had a chance to visit with Jack Roney earlier in the week, and he said the obvious. We don't pass much. We don't need to when you have the likes of Jonathan Ward and Jericho Johnson. We're much more of a running team, and why not?
That's Jordan Fisher being helped off. We've seen him as a punter, doubles as a safety on this defense for the Rockets. To the near side. That's why Zach Gadberry is an all-stater.
6'2", 275, but he also can move. That's quite a combination for a guy that just creates havoc in backfields. Couldn't really see which block that he destroyed. Now we'll get a chance to see him. He was unblocked. So a missed assignment there by McNamara. And he took advantage of it by using his eyes. Defensive players have to play with their eyes and a low pad level. He did that, was untouched, and I get his eyes got even bigger along the way, I guarantee you.
Loss of about 6 up the middle to Johnson. He will wiggle himself forward. Let's see where they will spot him down. He'll be, well, short of the first down. It'll be 3rd down and long. Last week, you talk about not throwing passes. Of course, the weather last Saturday, the miserable weather all across the state with the snow up in Elmhurst at IC Catholic. Fighting Irish only threw 2 passes all day in the 42-14 win.
It was their ground attack for over 300 yards last week, correct?
He just kept pounding and pounding and pounding it. Shutter will go to the air here. Pumps deep to the near sideline. And that's complete to the 46-yard line. Number 7, Chris Bell, checks it out. He has 26 yards on his stat sheet, and it will be a first down near midfield.
What a great job on the hitch and go. Watch a pump fake right there. And then Bell finds the ball a la Willie Mays over his shoulder. Reefsteck, not bad coverage right there, but you're talking about a big-time throw to an excellent receiver, having the ability to know where the sideline was at. Spatial awareness.
Once again, the ball in Unity territory. They will look to the McNamara side, make sure those chains are set, and we're ready to go.
How about Shutter putting that ball right on his hands on the outside shoulder?
He had to play that wind as well. Ward, nice cutback. You've seen Ward along with Johnson. As soon as they're hit and they're ready to go down, they try to stretch for that extra yard. That's a good pickup on first down at 7 yards.
Ward, a 4-year player. And I had the privilege to see him play 4 years ago when he was a freshman. And he was already scoring touchdowns as a freshman at the varsity level. He's just a very coachable young man and just a great get for CMU.
Blockers in front. First down. Moore to the 29-yard line before being upended by Cam Reifsteck. That's 10 yards on the carry.
I'll tell you what, viewers at home, if you watch number 5 right there, you'll see number 1 right behind him. And there's a block at the point of attack. We mentioned it earlier, we'll mention it again. What they do is they decide what hole they're going to run through, and then it is Johnson that will hit the linebacker at the next level. That's how you get big plays. So 2 blocks at the point of attack. Double team blocking sets up good running plays.
Johnson hit, stretches for a yard.
Unity in a 4-2-5 defense most of the time. That's their base. But you would think at certain times we'll see a change in this due to the running game. And I think Jonathan Ward's coming to the sideline, probably a little bit of scrape on his arm. So there might be some blood. You can see it on his pants. Great shot right there. And they'll clean that up. And he'll come back in. See the elbow right there. High school football, have to set out 1 play.
This will be in the 9th play of the drive that's already covered 59 yards. And it's taken over 4 minutes. Timeout on the field. It comes with 2:37 to play here in the first quarter. McNamara looking for their first score of this period. Bishop McNamara looking to keep this drive alive. 2nd down and 9. 3 men behind Shutter. Play action. On the roll, on the throw, and nearly intercepted. It was Cam Reifsteck that was right there. We've talked about Reifsteck several times today. Reifsteck missed 6 weeks of the season, had fractured vertebrae, and when he came back, not coincidentally, things kicked in for the Rockets.
2-way player, one of their top receivers. They have 3 good ones, and quite clearly a great DB right there. We saw Jonathan Ward in the backfield. What happened there is they took the timeout, which we said you have to come out of play. So the Bishop Mac staff went ahead and called the timeout to get their all-stater back in. Now he's in motion.
Shutter looking for Bell. He's got him, and his foot is down. Touchdown. Chris Bell went up, fingertip grab in 33-degree weather, got 1 foot down, and it's a 3-touchdown lead for the Fighting Irish. 3 different players scoring here in the first quarter.
Shutter throws this ball up And Bell, watch the replay as he looks to the right, throws it. He's going to go up to his highest point right there. Catches the ball 1 foot in the end zone. Reifsteck, a good matchup for Bell, but Bell has beat him once to the inside, once to the outside thus far.
20-yard touchdown pass from Shutter to Bell. So number 7, Chris Bell, in 14 games this year, has scored in every single one of them.
You see him warming his hands. He's hotter than a pistol anyway right now with a couple catches he's had. What a great job as he knows where the pylon's at, and he turns back to the football, goes up at the apex of his jump to bring it down. Might have got his hands on the DB Reifsteck just a little bit. But in order to turn around, find the football, just a very solid pitch and catch. Good chemistry between Shutter.
There's your drive, 87 yards in 10 plays, took almost 4 minutes, capped off by that officially 28-yard pass from Shutter to Bell. How about the 2 passes that Shutter threw to Bell on this drive? He laid it exactly where Bell was going to be the only man able to catch it.
Well, everybody talks about their ground game. They come out and they've done some things with the aerial attack. And there is a great deal of diversity right now. 21 big points up on the board. And this entire game has been played on the Unity half of the football field. The scoring position for McNamara has been solid. 2 short drives, and that one, a lengthy one, if you will.
Right now, even though we still have almost 2.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter, you feel like Unity needs something big to happen in a hurry. This one will float down to the 15-yard line. Reifsteck on the return. We'll get it out to about the 37-yard line. So that's where the Rockets will have it with 2:19 to play following the 21-yard return by Cam Reifsteck.
Well, there's a lot of football to be played, but if you take with 2:19 to go in the first quarter, 188 yards for the Irish, and for Unity only 4. So those numbers bear out the domination that there has been the first 10 minutes of this football game.
McNamara averages 338 yards of total offense per game. So they're well beyond halfway here in the first quarter. Short pass from Migad. Off the hands of Jaden Kaiser. Kaiser goes both ways, doubles as a cornerback along with being a wingback, 5'10" senior.
Well, they try Kaiser on the same side with Reifsteck, a little bit of rub pattern, both to the outside. Good coverage by the Irish.
Migad will have to go to the air again. Just a bit too high. Coverage by Javion Mason. Intended receiver that time was Skylar Shepard, one of his favorite receivers. Shepard checking into this game with 39 catches.
Well, Migad thus far has been under duress the entire football game.
There is Rich Zanani. You talk about a legend. How about 333 wins in his 41st season? He's only had 2 losing seasons in 41 years.
Those numbers speak for themselves, and what a quality person Coach is as well. And he's one of those guys you call him Coach, and that's everybody knows who he is.
Migad pulls it down. Now he goes down. And a late penalty flag. Number 66 is Brandon McGee. 6'3", 235-pounder. This flag was thrown actually after Migad had landed to the turf.
Yeah, around the Kankakee area, he goes just as Coach Z, and everybody knows who it is. Of course, you've been around 41 years, and the local people love his ability to work with the young people, and he says, I can't see myself ever doing anything. No one's enjoyed coaching high school football more than I have.
Defense, number 66. Yardage results in the first down.
So McGee with the sack and then the penalty. Here's a look at it. Joe Sartain with the first hit. Now that's what it was, the little right hand to the helmet by McGee. So give Sartain credit for the positive part of it, and McGee not so much on the other end.
So it was just that little bit of extra. unsportsmanlike conduct that came in. Good job by the officiating crew seeing that and penalizing that.
First down for Unity, their first down today. Miggett will not escape. He will be thrown down by Steve Tatro. 67 tackles, 6 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss. He and Jared West, according to Rich Zanatti, the heart of this defense.
And that will actually go as what, a 1 foot, 2 foot sack, I guess, if you will. But once again, under duress. Have not completed a pass yet as Unity. But Miggett has been under duress play after play. And they've really not established a running game as well. That's a bad 1-2 combination if you're a Unity fan.
Miggett tries to clear some space. Hit by West. Tatro. And down he goes. This McNamara defense is tenacious. A loss of 7.
Swarming, tenacious, aggressive, and you know what? They're fast, Dave. This is speed on defense. They just come at you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green shirts in the face of the young sophomore quarterback.
A McNamara player is down. And it appears to be number 31, Jared West. You see him right there in the lower left corner of your screen, grabbing the lower part of his back. West, a 34 ACT score, 4.0 GPA, number 1 in his class. How about some colleges he's considering? Yale, Harvard, Columbia.
And not too shabby. I never quite had those same opportunities, but that wasn't my final 3 academically. Quality young man, 4.0 GPA, number 1 in his class, as you mentioned, and a fine football player on top of all of that.
There's your total yards. You saw that momentarily. 188 minus 2. 3rd and long. Penalty flag thrown just as Skylar Shepard was coming through. He was hit by that snap. Flag was out by that time.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 59, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
This has been a tough first quarter for the Rockets from Unity.
And you're chasing 3 scores. Then you have 3rd and very, very long to go here. 24 it is. You got to play mistake-free right here.
Setting up a screen, and it's knocked down. Coming in hard to get his big hands on the ball was Deathridge. He had to throw it over a 6'6" man coming in. Number 9 there, Selwyn Calhoun. You know, we've talked about the defensive members. This will actually be Calhoun that'll get his hands on the ball. I might take that back. It is Deathridge. Calhoun applying the pressure. But out of the 11 players defensively for McNamara, I think somebody's name has come up already here in the first quarter.
Yeah, you know, and they just have played with relentless, reckless abandon in this whole quarter.
Now with Fisher out, remember he left with an injury defensively. The punting duty is going to Bobby Barnard, and that was no bargain, only 24 yards on that punt. So for the 3rd time in 4 possessions, the Fighting Irish from McNamara will have this ball in great field possession. They'll start from their own 44. Now we talked about Rich Zanatti. You see them right there in the middle of your screen on the other side for Unity. Scott Hamilton. Hamilton is 22nd year. Here's Rich Zanatti. What did we say? You're talking earlier in the week, a bye week this week or this year for McNamara. We see a run by Jericho Johnson. Johnson still drives. He will get to nearly the 40-yard line of Unity. 16 yards on that pickup.
Yeah, just strong bull kind of running right there by Jericho Johnson. Yeah, they had a forfeit win against Hales Franciscan. Coach Zanatti said in 41 years of coaching, he never had a week off in the middle of a season. He called it their bye week, took advantage of it, and got some guys healthy, used it practice time.
His counterpart, Scott Hamilton, in his 22nd year, 213 wins. This is the 5th time he has played in a state championship ball game. He has made the playoffs. His teams have made the playoffs every single one of his 22 years. Finished 2nd in 2000, 2005, 2009, and 2012.
Outstanding coach, outstanding program. He said his team had to play a perfect game against McNamara tonight. They got some work to do.
After one quarter, it is 21-0. McNamara outgaining Unity 203 yards to a -10. This is the 3A championship ball game, and right now it belongs to the men in green and gold. Touchdowns by Ward, Johnson, and Bell in the first 12 minutes have given McNamara the 21-0 lead over Unity. Along with Kelly Kroll, Mark Lindo, I'm Dave Bernhard. Game 3 of 4 here today, coming up the 4A championship ball game. One a lot of folks are looking forward to. Phillips and Belleville-Altough. Shutter to throw. He wants to go deep and a little bit too long there, looking for Ward. Let's go down to Kelly Kroll.
He will tell you these are his old stomping grounds. Graduated here from Northern Illinois in 1969 with a business degree. He said he just started teaching till he figured out what he wanted to do with that degree, and then some 40 years later he figured he kind of liked this whole teaching and coaching football thing. So working out pretty well for him so far, and if he could get this one done tonight, guys, the first state title since his three-peat that he was, of course, at the head of the 85 to 87 years. So I'm sure he's liking what he sees so far.
Yeah, and he's liking that life right now too, Kelly. He was longtime athletic director at McNamara, retired from that, so it's all about football, and it's all working out, as you said. And this looks good for him. Jonathan Ward spins out of about 3 tackles, and he's going to take it in. His second touchdown. First one was 56 yards, this 41.
Are you kidding me? Something out of nothing, an incredibly broken play that Jonathan Ward. Now, we talked about Coach Zanandi being 68 years old. I tell you what, he's an outstanding coach, but he didn't coach this. Look at that pirouette, look at that 360 spin, and then look at the acceleration of number 1, who is number 1 of many of the runners in this entire state, any level.
He came in with 2,165 yards. Tonight, he has added 134 to that. 2 touchdowns brings him up to a season total of 34. Brings us to a game total of 28. 28-0 McNamara over Unity just 15 seconds into the second period.
Jonathan Ward, 10 carries, 134 yards, 13.4 yards per carry.
Tonight, the Bulls finish up the circus trip in Indiana against Paul George and the Pacers. Coverage begins at 6:30 on Comcast Sportsnet. But do not despair. You are all about high school football. Comcast Sportsnet Plus will be your ticket for the Class 4A game. In fact, you can flip over to Plus right now and catch this ball game as well. Mr. Ward, 41-yard touchdown run, 3 plays, 56 yards. Now working against the wind. Here comes Kaiser. We'll get it out to about the 23-yard line. Jericho Johnson also on the kickoff coverage team. 19-yard return for Kaiser.
This Unity team has come back from adversity. They lost back-to-back games September 18th and 25th to Monticello and Maroa Forsyth. So they've gone through some adversity, a 10-3 season. They got some catching up to do. And they have an omnipotent offensive Bishop McNamara to try to do it against. They got to get it going themselves first. And I know with Coach Hamilton, there'll be no stopping these guys.
Go to Chandler Cousins. He's hit right there by number 9, Selwyn Calhoun. Five of the starters on the defensive side for Bishop McNamara are underclassmen. Calhoun being one of those. No gain on the play. The Rockets still sitting in a -10 total yardage after a little over a quarter.
Rockets in 4 wide right now. Slots on each side, just 1 back in the football game. So they're spread out once again.
A little play action. And Joe Sartain, number 19. He said, oh man, what could have been?
Skylar Shepard, 9, runs a little bit of a skinny post right here. He's open for just a brief second. See 9 coming out of your picture, but no. You got to get the hands up, knock a pass down. Pass breakup credited to Sartain.
Sartain, only 165 pounds. He's one of those underclassmen. Rich Denani says he's just everywhere. Straight drop back Miggett. That ball's free. And McNamara will recover at the bottom of that, and on top of the ball is Deathridge. Dylan Deathridge with the fumble recovery.
Well, just a speed rush from the outside, from the boundary side. And I believe for Unity, there was one blocker in there. That would have been Cousins, but he just missed his block, kind of whiffed, if you will. And the speed rush results in a turnover, a fumble recovery.
Now, we mentioned Sartain one play earlier. He missed on the interception. He forces the fumble, and the Fighting Irish in business inside the Rockets' 25-yard line. A little delay to Ward. Turn back there. Number 35 is Toby Trexler. Really developed as an inside linebacker. During the playoffs, he's been all over the field. You saw him right there.
He had a slow start to the season, Coach Hamilton said, weeks, for the first 3 or 4 weeks, and then he really came on to be one of the leaders of the defense.
112 tackles coming into this game. Short gain for Ward on first down.
8 in the box there for Unity's defense, trying to negate the running game, which they have not been able to slow down yet.
Johnson. Look at the strength of Jericho Johnson. He's 5'10", he's 193 pounds. He powers forward for a 12-yard gain and another McNamara first down.
Now, there's nothing fancy here, Dave, but watch all the white shirts. See, they all look to Jonathan Ward. They start to move laterally to the right with Jonathan Ward, and all of a sudden, boom, there's a quick hole, quick opener, Jericho Johnson. So even when Ward is not involved, he draws the eyes of the white shirts. Good picture, Jericho.
Johnson with a touchdown, averaging about 8 yards per carry on the season. It's 8.5 per carry. Turning the corner and stretching and into the end zone. Touchdown, Ariz Andrews, the 4th different Fighting Irish player to hit pay dirt, and it is 34-0.
That's just his 2nd rushing touchdown of the season, but he looks like he knows where he's going on this. And look at his nice vision, a little bit of stiff arm against Reifsteck at the very end, and hits pay dirt for the 2nd time of the season and the 1st time in this state championship game.
9-yard touchdown run for Andrew. Dylan Anderson, busy man on extra point attempts. He has hit all 5. 5 possessions, 5 touchdowns, and a 35-0 lead for Bishop McNamara. The Fighting Irish right there, Ariz Andrew. Those folks right there have done a lot of cheering for a lot of touchdowns this year. 35-0. There's your scoring drive, a short one, only 3 plays, 23 yards. It came off the fumble recovery by Dylan Deathridge, forced by Joe Sartain. I had mentioned, Mark, that McNamara scored on all 5 of their possessions tonight. That's only slightly better than what they've done through the entire season.
Well, they've scored 462 points as of this juncture, counting tonight, and we're told that they've scored over 70% of their possessions this year, which is just an astronomical offensive output.
That kickoff will go through the end zone. So Tolono Unity will start from their 20-yard line.
191 yards for McNamara, and last week against St. Joe's Ogden in the 2nd half, Tolono only yielded 0.9 yards rushing, so they just stuffed the run in that win, and today they have not been able to at all negate this punishing and electric ground game of the Fighting Irish.
And once again, Rockets will come on the field. They will be looking for something positive. You saw the yardage moments ago, -10. There's only been 1 first down for Unity, and that came on a penalty. 4-yard run on first down by Chandler Cousins. He was on this 2012 team that finished second for Unity, as Scott Hamilton calls him. He's a program kid.
A guy that will do whatever it takes. He only goes 5'8". He says he likes to stay low and stay below his big offensive lineman, and they just kind of pop out at the last second. Haven't been very many lanes for him so thus far this evening.
And there is nothing there. Gets the carry, maybe a yard, helped to his feet by Johnson. This game right now, a microcosm of how things were going in the midway portion of the season. Back-to-back losses to Monticello and Maroa Forsyth, 27-20 to Monticello, and then a 34-0 loss to Maroa Forsyth. And that was not a pretty game for Unity. Coaches said, we're just going to stick with it, maybe simplify things a little bit, and obviously they find themselves playing this title game. Incomplete. I mean, it will be time to punt once again for the folks from Tolono.
They try to find Kaiser on a crossing pattern. They've tried to establish a run game, nothing going. Good picture of Scott Hamilton there, who right now has tried a little bit of everything, but from a physicality standpoint, a speed standpoint, you can't simulate the speed. No, there's no way, and McNamara has exhibited much more speed than Unity can handle thus far in this game.
Keeping that ball low against the wind, but still, once again, great field position for McNamara at the 43-yard line, 32 yards on that kick. Remember, coming up, Althoff and Phillips of the Chicago Public League win their first state championship in history.
Third try.
Speaking of state championships, this is what McNamara has done the last 3 years. They just kind of keep inching. First round loss last year, and all of a sudden they turned it around this year. Last year, sophomore and junior team. This year, as Rich Zanning said, you know what? We're juniors and seniors, and we're playing like it. There's a senior right there into Unity territory, Jonathan Ward. Ward again, another first down run, this coming from 16 yards. Ward up already over 150 yards and 12 carries.
He's just an M&M guy. Make him miss every time, just so elusive. Great agility, the ability to change directions quickly. He is an example of that. Look at his big shoulders. He's a chiseled young man, great athlete, plays on the hardwood.
He will get it again. Makes the cut. Another first down run. Unity trying to strip the ball from Ward. He would have had none of it.
And way downfield, 54, Brandon Lowe along with Chris Bell still blocking for him. When you get your offensive lineman that far down the field, making blocks at the second and then the back level, that's how you can have a ground game like McNamara has exhibited.
So a 16-yard run followed by now a 17-yard pickup. Little pinball action there as Ward will be thrown back. Kobe Shutter tonight, the quarterback for McNamara. As we said, he does not throw the ball that often, completing 3 of 5. All 3 of those passes going to Chris Bell, and right now, clock running, 7:10 to play here in the first half, and a 35-0 lead. You've got to believe this ball is going to stay on the ground.
76 yards, so efficient, and a touchdown. So his quarterback rating would be solid.
Good hop for Ward. And now a little bit of an opening. A lot of white jerseys surrounding Jonathan Ward as he will take it inside the 15-yard line. He may have enough. It's a 12-yard pickup. May have enough for that first down. They pick up the chains. They will move them. Here comes Ward right at you.
That ball comes right back up into his hands. Johnson with a good block, you know, at the point of attack there, at the point of the fumble. but then he just does such a great job of squaring his shoulders up to the line of scrimmage. Good running backs do not play horizontal, they play vertical.
Another first down. That's the 14th for McNamara. Andrew gets the call. Ariz Andrew, his second touchdown run and 2 carries. 14 yards on this one.
Always nice to see Brandon McGee, one of the first guys there to get him. When your offensive linemen love to see their backs in the backfield, that's where they get their pleasure. 1 touchdown coming in, 2 on the night. Handoff off the left side. Big hole. Reefstock the last guy to have a shot at him, but just too elusive, too explosive, too much acceleration.
6 for 6 for the Fighting Irish. Possessions and touchdowns. Anderson also 6 for 6. 42-0, and we have not yet hit the midpoint of the second quarter.
1, 2, 3 blocks, all the point of attack, then 1 missed tackle. But what a huge hole. You see the blocking coming in once again. Just everyone on the point of attack at their block, following through with their block, and then the vision of the back getting into the end zone.
Ward is a senior. Jericho Johnson is a senior. Andrew a junior, for all those of you folks that have the Fighting Irish on your schedule next year. 5 plays, 57 yards. It has been very, very efficient for McNamara.
Only 350 students go to that school at Brookmont Boulevard in Kankakee. Brookmont Boulevard, the home of the Irish. But they have an awful lot of gentlemen that can play the game of football at a high level. 4 D1 prospects and numerous other collegiate-type athletes in the green and gold.
Enrollment classification for McNamara, the private school from Kankakee, 526. In terms of pure bodies in the building, 315. And that ball is downed immediately. Getting down, being safe, Jacob Martin.
So most of the experts thought this would be a Bishop McNamara favored game, but I don't think anybody with 6:20 to go in the first half thought they'd have 7 touchdowns on or 6 touchdowns on the board already.
Yardage 324 to -5. I don't think Rich the Nanny could have expected this.
I don't think that he thought he would be relaxed with a smile on his face in the middle of the second quarter.
Cousins. That's close to a first down. Chandler Cousins will take it up there. Remember, just 1 first down. That came on a penalty for the Rockets. That a 9-yard pickup by Cousins on first down.
Best push by their offensive line. The way to win in football is to play lower than your opponent, lower pad level. Doesn't matter which line that you're in. Pretty good push by Unity from Tolono, their offensive line. Just enough of a seam for Cousins to use his vision to get through and pick up a nice chunk.
And that will be enough for the first down. Cousins today carried 7 times. He's working towards his average. First offensive first down for the Rockets here tonight, and it comes with 5:54 to play in the second quarter.
Normally a 65% run, 35% pass team. That's what they like to do. That's their modus operandi. However, when you're trailing by this much, at what point do you get out of your game plan?
And working against an 18-mile-per-hour wind. Miggett to carry, and he will go nowhere. Chased down from behind by number 36. That's Austin Selleck.
So Miggett now will be, what, -24 yards rushing on the night. And this is a guy who put up numbers all year long.
Well, he rushed for over 1,000, passed for almost 1,800. Member of the anchored fact, the 4x100 and 4x200 relays, part of the state championship team for Unity. He's in trouble again. There is no getting away from number 19, Joe Sartain. Number 9, Selwyn Calhoun. Number 77, Kaiser Foreman.
Well, right now, the big guys up front, and that was off the edge by Sartain, and then just good pursuit by Green Shirts once he flushed him out. They can just tee off pass right now. As a pass rusher, there's nothing that you like more. Sartain came off the edge from the linebacker position, a little bit of help from Calhoun, and their speed up front for the Fighting Irish.
Already we see some reserves in defensively for McNamara. The middle is clogged. Tough going for number 15 there, Chandler Cousins. Once again, Rockets will need to punt. Every possession is ending with a punt, one with a fumble. Number 7 to kick, number 7 to receive. That's Chris Bell. Bell with a receiving touchdown tonight. And a 91-yard kickoff return for a score against IC Catholic in the semifinal. And that will land in Unity territory. It has been a tough go for the folks in the white jerseys tonight.
Another shot to survey. Shutter comes back out. The only loss for McNamara is to St. Lawrence, what, week 4? They give up 70 points.
St. Lawrence Class 5A semifinalists. You know, in fact, it's the schedule for McNamara this year. Fighting Irish played Plainfield North, a 7A school, beat them 17-14. Beat defending state champs Providence Catholic. They played against bigger schools, bigger teams. They have dominated. That's when Rich Zananti thought, you know, we might have something here. We might have something really special here when they played against the big boys like that. 11-yard run and another first down, the 16th of this first half for McNamara.
We talk about Jonathan Ward being a 2,000-yard rusher. We can only surmise how many series, how many plays he sat out all year long because of the big leads they've had.
Michael Gomes is in at quarterback, 5'10" junior. Problem with the exchange. However, Jericho Johnson has a way of making things turn out all right.
There'll be a hold flag at the 35-yard line. That's in the area usually you find an offensive lineman getting his hands outside of the defender. To keep your hands in, you're usually not going to get caught. Even if you are holding, you won't get caught. When they get outside or on the pads, that's when officials have a good sight line of that and flags come down.
Hold offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Dylan Dethridge on the hold, puts it back to the 46.
They think Dylan Dethridge is not going to be a collegiate prospect, but maybe a big-time collegiate prospect. Good size, good feet. Offensive linemen have to have good feet.
Third quarterback of the night, this is Giavion Mason. Gain to the 40. Also got Calhoun into the backfield. So already here with 2:40 to play in the first half, a 42-0 lead. A lot of different players getting different spots on the field. Once again, Gomes back in. Ward the handoff, and he's going to go backwards. Thought he could bounce to the outside, but Zach Spencer said, I don't think so.
He should be down to 189 yards rushing out of that loss in the first half.
Spencer, a junior, one of 9 underclassmen on this Unity defense. Oh, he stayed right with him. The hit and the tackle for loss.
A fundamental tackle as he squared up, kept his feet moving, and drove right through the ball carrier. And that's the way that you have to bring down Jonathan Ward and his athleticism.
This is Mason. And he will be short of a first down. This will be the first 4th down of the half for McNamara. And it comes with 1:36 to play.
But he showed some speed getting the outside. 3 different quarterbacks in the first half. 42 points, as you see on your screen, on the scoreboard already.
Mason, just a sophomore. And in this part of the field, White Irish to go for it. They need 13 yards. Jones with some room here to the near side. He'll be shoved out of bounds. He will be short of the first down for the first time in this game. It comes with 1:27 to play and a half. McNamara does not score a touchdown on their possession.
Straight quarterback Keith Tatro with a block downfield. Number 50 right there on your screen, but just running out of real estate at the boundary. And they turn it over on downs.
So right now, Unity will look to get on the board here in the final 90 seconds of this half. If this score remains the way it does, we would play the second half with a running clock. Over 40-point difference.
And that in game 2 today. So a couple of significant victories in 2A and 3A. At least this one looks that way.
Stephen Miggett to take the snap. Give it to his favorite running back, Cousins. Irishman. Fighting Irish, I guess, to be specific. It is cold down there. It is really cold. Wind chill about 20 degrees right now.
Zach Gadberry for Unity said his team has changed so much since they lost those couple games in the middle of the year, and that people doubted them a little bit. And that was a little bit of a motivator for them, and it worked, getting here to the state title game.
He avenged 2 of their 3 losses in the regular season. Monticello and St. Joe Ogden both knocked them off in the regular season. And all they did was come back and knock off Monticello on a touchdown pass in the final 20 seconds of the game, and then scored 30 points in the second half to wipe out an 8-0 St. Joe Ogden lead in the semifinals last week.
Coach Hamilton, no stranger to the title game. You mentioned about 5th appearance. He also was part of a state champion in 1A as assistant Hardin Calhoun. So he's been around state championship games, and just a winner in his own right.
That was one of the things that he had mentioned. He said this week is so special, you have to balance the enjoyment and the preparation. The flag comes out with 4 seconds to play in the half. And that is a difficult thing to manage. You want everybody to enjoy the experience and everything that leads up to this game, but yeah, you still have a ball game to play. This first half hasn't been all that enjoyable when you look up at the scoreboard for the Unity fans.
And he said this was new territory to him because it had already been at Champaign venue, so a little bit different traveling here to DeKalb.
Personal foul penalty, walking it off. Heading south.
Personal foul, offense, number 5, 15 yards, 4th down.
Likely just one more snap here in the first half. And in fact, they will just start that clock and let it play out. And what a dominating performance in the first half from McNamara. 6 touchdowns from 4 different players, scored in all but their last possession, leading 42-0. Let's go to Kelly.
Has been getting it done in a lot of different ways. Have Have you seen this team play this good this season?
You know, we've been really good in the playoffs. Struggled through the Catholic League, which we do at times, but had some good wins. And we keep talking about throwing a perfect game, and we're doing it right now. I mean, we're really hitting on all cylinders on offense. Our defense is just smothering them. I mean, they don't have anything going, and we have, you know, we're trying to take advantage of all our kids on offense with Jonathan and Jericho and Chris Bell, and it's just worked really, really well.
You certainly have up to this point, and up 42-0. What do you tell your guys at halftime just to make sure that they keep that momentum rolling?
Normally at halftime, I tell them the score is 0-0. I don't care what the score says, but we'll get organized. Everybody's going to get into this game. That's on my squad this afternoon, so we'll have a running clock probably, so it's going to go quickly.
Yeah. All right, Coach, we'll enjoy it.
Thanks, man.
Good luck second half.
Thank you.
Guys.
All right, thank you very much, Kelly. There is a man that is simultaneously satisfied and a little bit surprised. Domination here in 3A, 42-0. Mac over Unity.
The Fighting Irish on top 42-0 over the Rockets here in the 3A state finals game in DeKalb. And of course, this Tolono team had to get by a very good St. Joe Ogden squad. One of the reasons SJO was so tough has been the play of senior defensive back Jake Pence. Pence set a school record for interceptions. He tied an IHSA record with 6 of them and returns for touchdowns. And WCIA's Matt Wetterston did some investigating as to how he got so good.
What can you say about Jake Pence, Coach?
Well, he always has a knack of always finding a way to, you know, get in front of somebody and, you know, making that key interception when we need it.
Hey guys, you got any food left? I ate all my food from lunch.
Hey, I got you.
Oh, thanks, bro.
Psst. Hey, Ty, can I get a pencil to ace this test?
I got you.
Jake, save it for the playoffs.
All joking aside, what's this year been like for you personally?
I mean, it's been a good year. I mean, I've exceeded my expectations, but you know, the coaches, they expect a lot of me. I got to do a lot for the team, so you know, it's just my job to contribute every week.
You contribute on offense and defense. Have you taken a lot of pride in getting all those picks and those interceptions?
Yeah, it's before the year, one of my few individual goals was to break our school interceptions record. So when I got that, you know, it was since pride for me. I know something I wanted to do since I was a freshman.
Take us through a play.
It all starts before the play. You got to listen to the other coach, see if you know you can pick up on anything, and then you get the coverage set, and they start the cadence. You're moving around. You have an idea of what they're running just based off stuff you've seen in the past, and then the play starts. You're reading your receiver. You're reading the backfield. And on almost all my pick sixes, the D-line's gotten a lot of pressure, and they've hit the quarterback or rushed him, you know, makes him do something he doesn't want to do. And when he does that, he makes a bad throw. It's usually hangs or something. You just got to make a break on it. You get it and run for your life.
Jake Pence, quite a character. Matt Wetterston, thank you so much for that story. Of course, Unity with a lot of work to do as they trail 42-0 here in the 3A state finals. From DeKalb, we're going to take a quick timeout and come back with the rest of our schedule for tonight and a lot of games in store for tomorrow. We'll see you in just a few seconds. We are back here at Husky Stadium in DeKalb. A chilly, chilly evening. The fans are bundling up here at halftime, waiting on the Fighting Irish and Rockets to hit the field for the second half. Bishop McNamara in front, 42-0 here in the 3A state finals, but still more on the way this evening. The 4A final game between Chicago Phillips and Althoff Catholic from Belleville. That is one a lot of people have been waiting on. Of course, the Phillips trying to be the first Chicago public league school to bring home some hardware, a big state finals, and I know that team. Just watched them walk in here, and they're all bundled up as well, ready to hit the field any moment. As of tomorrow, the 5A state finals game will kick things off at 10 a.m. Take a look, Nazareth Academy versus Lincoln Way West. Following that, the 6A championship currently scheduled for 1 p.m. between Montini Catholic and Crete-Money, and then the big houses, powerhouse teams of the 7A championship at 4 o'clock here on CSN. Glenbard West versus Libertyville, and an entire weekend of high school state championships wrapping up with the 8A title game coming your way at 7 o'clock. Loyola Academy versus Chicago Marist. And we've got a lot in store for you between all of these teams. Feature pieces at halftime coming your way as of right now. The 3A state finals, Bishop McNamara in front 42-0. We're going to take one more quick timeout before these two teams hit the field for the second half.
Northern Illinois University for the second time hosting the IHSA State Football Finals. We are in Class 3A, and that indeed is your halftime score. Bishop McNamara on top of Unity, 42-0 with Kelly Kroll and Mark Lindo. I'm Dave Bernhard. Mark, I don't know, the score and the numbers, we'll see more numbers a little bit later, but the score definitely tells the story. Total domination.
Domination, speed, and speed on both sides of the ball. You think of speed, you think of running backs, you think getting the end zone, receivers. Speed on defense has just been a tremendous asset to Bishop McNamara in half number one's dominating performance.
Let's take a look at the first half highlights, and there are a ton. Keep an eye on number one. This was the very first play from scrimmage in this game. That is Jonathan Ward. He started at his own 44-yard line. He will end up at the goal line. A 56-yard touchdown run in the quick lead. Then just as quickly, Jericho Johnson. It is now 14-0. 2 possessions, 2 scores in the first 4.5 minutes. Kobe Shutter to the air. There's Chris Bell on the receiving end. Bell scoring a touchdown in every single McNamara game. A 21-0 lead at the end of 1 quarter for the Fighting Irish. Here's a great run by Ward.
Well, his escape ability just uncanny. That's his second long touchdown run of the game. You've seen 4 highlights, 3 different Irish into the end zone.
And last run, 41 yards, and there's Joe Sartain. He strips Dylan Deathridge, the fumble recovery, and it didn't take the Fighting Irish long. Ariz Andrew, there's the 4th different player to carry the ball into the end zone. That one coming from 9 yards out. 35-0 with 9:42 to play in the first half. Andrew, the next time he touched the ball on the very next possession, goes in from 13 yards. That game with 6:20 left. We were scoreless the last 6 minutes of this half. It is 42-0, and those numbers are eye-popping.
277 yards on the ground. There is no way to describe what they've done with their running game. Enough pass yards to keep things honest. Getting a couple balls up in the air to Chris Bell. Just very, look at the shutdown defense, because Unity's been, 3rd and long, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. And just those numbers tell the 42-0 deficit that Unity is facing here.
It was interesting, Rich Zanani's comments going into the locker room. It wasn't going to be so much strategy, of course. It was mainly, how are we going to get everybody into this ball game with the clock running?
Yeah, you think of a state championship, and you think, the culmination and the celebration, it's going to be somewhat anticlimactic, because with the running clock, this game is over except for the final score.
There is your score at the half. 42-0. McNamara on top of Unity in the Class 3A championship game. Second half coming up next here on Comcast Sportsnet. Our IHSA State Football Finals are brought to you by Country Financial. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to help you get to where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. Glad to have you with us on a cold, but right now, clear night here in DeKalb. We had rain, mist, a little bit of snow earlier. It's cleared up in that aspect. It is cold. We are getting down to the freezing mark, and with that 18-mile-an-hour wind, it is chilly.
Great shot of the home student center here on the campus of Northern Illinois University, and a great shot of the will-be or would-be state champions who put on a state championship performance in the first half of this football game.
State champions already in 1982, and as Kelly mentioned earlier, a run of 3 straight years, 85, 86, 87. Sprinkled in among all those appearances, second place finishes in 1978, 1981, along with the last time they were here, 1998, 17 years ago.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, the Fighting Irish having a good time here at the half. But notice they're having a good time in front of the heater.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, Unity won a couple state championships already this fall, haven't they?
How about cross country? How about boys and girls cross country state champions?
You know, that when you're talking about a program, and think about the fall then. I mean, you have, you know, the biggest amount of participants here in the football team getting to the state championships, and then you have, you know, both genders of your cross country team, which I'm sure are large programs there. So student participation and success of student athletes, it definitely shown out there in Tolono Unity's fall athletic season.
Rockets won the toss to start this game. They elected to defer until the second half. In fact, their kickoff in the first half was an onside kick recovered by McNamara, and that led to that one-play touchdown drive for McNamara, the 56-yard run. So Unity will get the ball to start the second half, and this clock will be a running clock here throughout the entire half because of the 40-plus point lead in this game.
Scott Hamilton said we've got 55 kids with farm boy toughness, and they'll show some toughness here in the second half. I flat out guarantee they'll keep competing this last 24 minutes.
Jaden Kaiser, full head of steam. He'll take it out to about the 30-yard line, maybe a little bit beyond for Kaiser as we start the second half with a 23-yard kickoff return.
So we'll have to watch both units at to what point. We've already seen McNamara play some people in their depth chart. At what point will we see reserves wholesale-wise for both teams?
Trying to get into the positive yardage mark. Get it 4 yards in the first half. Quarterback is Stephen Miggett. Quickly to the air, and for the second time tonight, pass batted down. That time it's Jared West. West, who left momentarily with a sore back in there to start half number 2.
Jared West, 6'1", 190, knows how to play, well coached. But you get your hand up there, you see the quarterback's arm come out, you fight off your block and get your arm up. That's the second ball batted down at the line of scrimmage by the McNamara front 4 here today.
Now the field being spread here by Unity. To the left side. Skylar Shepard. Turn and go. Steve Miggett. 0 for 9 tonight throwing the ball.
So Miggett's had passes knocked down. He's been under duress. His 0 for 9, some of those, quite honestly, you know, he had to throw away. A couple of those in the first quarter, he had to throw under duress. He really had no time to set up and utilize the passing ability that he's developed as the season has gone along.
Miggett will pull it down. Selwyn Calhoun will put a stop to that. The officials will blow the whistle to prevent anything else. But once again, Unity will have to punt.
Scott Hamilton's been at Unity with some opportunities to coach at just different places, high school and college, and he said that he's never applied or interviewed for another job because the people in Tolono have been loyal to him, and he wants to show that loyalty back. Class coach.
Hamilton, 22 years as head coach. That punt may have been partially blocked, and it will just roll free here at the 33-yard line. Hamilton, also the athletic director, 22 years as a head football coach, and he has taken them to 22 consecutive state finals. I should say state playoff appearances. This is his 5th trip to the final game of the season.
You mentioned Coach Zanani used to be the athletic director. Now John Rudder is at McNamara, and his team did very well in women's basketball last March.
It has been well, that would be about 8 months. Great 8 months for folks in Kankakee. Now remember, there have been some problems in the punting game for Unity. That's because Jordan Fisher was injured, normal punter, injured as his role as a safety on the defensive side. So he's missed probably over a quarter of this ball game. Maurice Andrew will get that carry for the Fighting Irish. Andrew with a couple of touchdown runs tonight.
Coach Zanani going to win a state championship, 68 years old, and well, he told us he still goes to clinics, still talks to other coaches, still tries to learn the game, and 7-on-7 passing leagues in the summer, the 25 dates. That's been the biggest adjustment, the biggest change he's seen since graduating from Northern Illinois, what, 1969.
Loose ball will end up in the hands of McNamara, and it was plays like that, balls like that early in the season that for Unity, every loose ball was going the other way. The ball would just hop the wrong way, and that's why they got off to the slow start. That and some injuries, and then finally put it together, and here's the case too. This ball's hopping around, but it ends up in McNamara's hands.
And a good job by Andrew staying with the play. Didn't try to, pick it up and try to advance. He just wanted to maintain possession of the football. Good offensive fundamentals.
Javion Mason, the quarterback, he'll hand off to Andrew. He just keeps spinning and twisting, and he will be close, if not a first down, 16-yard run, and it will be good enough to move the chains.
What great balance and agility he showed at 5'11", 170. You talk about the fact he's only a junior. He's the heir apparent of Jonathan Ward, and I don't know if he'll put up 2,000 yards, but he looks like if he has an offensive line next year, he'll be, no doubt, a bona fide runner. Average 6 yards a carry in a reserve role this year.
Ball just outside the 20-yard line. McNamara scored on all but one of their possessions tonight.
How many years think Coach Zanani has left in him? Any ideas?
Talking to him, he just seems as though he's going to keep going and going and going. Delay of game will walk this back 5 yards. He and his wife talked about it. Last year they decided at the end of the year they'd talk about it. But as you said, he just loves the school and the area, and this wouldn't be a bad way to go out if you were going to call it quits, but he just seems just as happy as could be doing what he's doing.
A lot of his staff has been around a while. Jack Roney, his offensive coordinator, started with him in 1981 or 91.
They fake the option pitch. They give it to the up man wearing number 52, Alex Allegro, playing the fullback spot. Allegro, 5'10" junior.
Coach Z there, and his defensive coordinator, Kurt Belisle, is a MAC graduate from 1992. And Kurt actually played for Lou Holtz at the University of Notre Dame, so good football pedigree there. And we don't have the number. I wonder how many collegiate athletes at any level Coach Zanini has been able to send off to school.
Mason around the corner. Again, is able to shake through one tackle and come up about 3 yards short of the first down. 12-yard run for Mason. This was him all the way. Got just around the corner, around C.J. Parks. Parks, though, trailing very nicely on the play.
You saw 52 Allegro in the backfield. You have to report that as a different number. They're using him as a blocking back in the point of attack, and quite clearly you've seen, I would think, the last of the careers of the likes of Jonathan Ward and Jericho Johnson and such, all the other seniors.
Alternating quarterbacks. Once again, it's Michael Gomes. Again, we have a penalty flag. Stopping play as you see the clock continuing to run with this 42-point lead.
Dead ball, false start, offense, number 71, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And all of a sudden you have some different combinations in there. Quarterbacks, linemen. Timing not quite the same as it would be a normal situation.
Talk about Unity switching to a 4-2-5 defense this year. They went from an odd man front to an even front this year because of the spread offenses. Now in the title game, they play an I formation team.
Is there enough room on the sideline for Andrew? Tiptoes, didn't get there, stepped out. In fact, they'll say he stepped out at about the 8-yard line. Andrew just keep that shoe just inside on the green. Didn't quite do it. Steps out at the 8.
The whole philosophy of that toss sweep go way back to like the USC days, what have you, is to toss the ball with a lead fullback. You see the fullback lead. This time it's a guard in the backfield, but to get your running back to be able to take the toss and go downhill and turn vertical.
Well, there you're talking about the 7-on-7s, all the clinics, the spread offenses, and what does Rich Zananti do? He plays to his talents.
Yeah, plays to his talents, and you know what? He coaches what he knows how to coach as well.
Nothing up the middle. Allegro again gets the carry.
So much tradition. You know, their football field was built by their boosters in what, 1952, something like that, and built with their own money, and they still maintain it. And that group of players, they clean their own locker rooms, they clean their own field, and when you do those kind of things, I had a chance to teach and coach in a private school for a while. The athletes, they feel so much more ownership, which I think is really important.
There you see Allegro behind Gomes. Michael Gomes cut down. He saw it coming. Cam Reifsteck was right there zeroing in on Gomes. He will get inside the 5. It will be 3rd down from there.
I see Coach Bill Kreff said this is the best football team he's seen this year, talking about the Irish, and I would probably think Scott Hamilton might echo those comments in his post-game analysis of this McNamara powerhouse.
They just came out and looked invincible in the first half. Andrew fighting, and he's in for his 3rd touchdown of the night. It is 48-0. Fighting Irish.
Well, the Reese Andrews coming right downtown, showing good balance as he takes the first hit, then 3 guys he carries in the line of scrimmage, auditioning for next year, and I think he's got the lead right now.
With the low snap, they'll have to run it, and everything going McNamara's way. A 2-point conversion run in by Dylan Post. And McNamara has hit the 50-point mark. 3rd touchdown run of the night for Reese Andrew. McNamara continues to roll. Great to have you with us here on Comcast Sportsnet and Comcast Sportsnet Plus. Now, if you're looking for that 4A game, that will be on Plus, so make sure you join us for that one. Don't want to miss Phillips and Althoff out of Belleville. It'll be North versus South, Chicago versus Belleville down near St. Louis, and for the first time in 6 years, Rochester will not be playing in that 4A championship. 5-time defending state champs, eliminated by Althoff. We'll have all that information coming up for you in about kickoff in a little over an hour.
Should be a little offense in that game as well. You can have your play-by-play voice moving quickly with all the big-time explosive plays there may be anticipated in that game.
Those 2 teams average a combined 90 points scored per game. Althoff with almost 54 points scored in 4 playoff games per game. See the wind having a little bit of an effect for Dylan Anderson. Coming to you from Husky Stadium, Brigham Field here at Northern Illinois University. Pretty good kick right there. We'll take it back near the goal line. Once again, it's Jaden Kaiser. Kaiser spins himself up and give the ball to the Rockets. Only 2 first downs tonight, only 1 offensive first down, the other one coming by way of penalty. McNamara, on the other hand, 18 first downs and 396 total yards.
Well, you know, we've been singing the praise of the McNamara offense and defense, and they've been solid as a rock in special teams play as well. They had a nice punt return to set up a touchdown very early on in the game. Their kickoff return coverage has been outstanding, this time giving an 82-yard field to Unity. So they have been not just solid, but dominating all 3 phases of the football game.
Miggett, pass completion is first of the game, and it will go to Kaiser. Kaiser's 32nd catch of the season, a 10-yard pickup on first down.
Unity has 3 receivers that they go to, which I believe have caught like 96 of their passes. So they really have a trio of guys that Miggett can choose from. All 3 of them dangerous.
But yet just the first completion here through 3 quarters, 1 of 10 for Miggett here tonight. And it looks as if they will just let this scoreboard clock run out. 1 score in a period. It was a 4-yard touchdown run from Maurice Andrew, a 2-point conversion after a bad snap. After 3 in your 3A championship game, there is your score. Bishop McNamara 50, Unity nothing. You heard head coach Rich Zananni for Bishop McNamara talking at halftime, saying how well they have played in the playoffs. They've scored 48, 34, 53, 42. Is tonight the championship game, 50 points as we start the 4th quarter. Skylar Shepard with the carry. It was Joe Sartain grabbing him by the jersey. Shepard would have none of it, and the effort that you were talking about earlier, the 3rd quarter, that Unity was not going to back down at all, was shown right there by Shepard. I think that by Jaden Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser, Shepard, those are 2 good wide receivers that we talked about. That time on a little bit of a sweep action. And you take on the personality of your coach, and Scott Hamilton's a winner. And Unity, not on the scoreboard tonight, but they're going to compete like winners throughout this final 11:25 running clock here at Brigham Field in DeKalb.
Chandler Cousins the carry, and with that, the first down, and with that, we'll go down to Kelly Crow.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. Here with Shannon Shutter, the father of Bishop McNamara's quarterback, Kobe Shutter, and this has been an exciting night for you, to say the least, and one you've been waiting for quite some time, it sounds like.
30 years. This is the biggest game of my life, and I'm not even playing in it.
And he says that because you were on the state championship team, not 1 but 2 in 85 and 86, and a starter for those teams. So this is very reminiscent.
Yes, it was. This is a dream come true. It's all about my son, and I'm just here to cheer him on, and they're doing a great job, and I couldn't ask for anything better in the world. It means more to me than anything that I've ever accomplished.
I can tell you're very emotional, but you were giving it to these guys pretty hard because you already had the hardware to flash in their face. Is that right? Will you show that to the people at home?
I had a ring made for the 85 year, for this 30 year, and I've been showing them this ring for the entire season and told them if they wanted one, they'd have to earn it themselves. And so it looks to me like they're going to finally get theirs, so they can give me a big kick in the butt finally. But it's good for them, and I couldn't be more proud.
They're going to get one of their own, that's for sure. Well, just for a second, because Coach Zananni coached you as well, and now he's coaching your son. That's a pretty cool thing right there.
He did. He coached me 30 years ago. He's coached my son. He's coached kids that I've coached. I've coached football for off and on for 15 years, and there's several kids on this team that I've coached, and it's just a big family, and everybody comes from the area, and they're just doing spectacular. I couldn't ask for anything better. It's great.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I know you're going to want to watch the final part of this game, and congratulations to you and your son.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you.
Shannon, thanks a lot. Guys, back to you in the booth.
Well, thank you very much, Kelly, and talk about sincerity. I mean, that was very touching, that no matter what he accomplished, what his son accomplishes, and that's true of so many folks, whatever his son accomplishes exceeds your personal accomplishments.
Well, he was just beaming with pride, and the emotions in his voice kind of resonated with anybody that's had a father-son relationship.
Timeout with 8:48 to play. We'll take a break and we'll be back at Brigham Field after this. Country Financial will help you build a plan with insurance and financial solutions to get you where you want to go. Call your local rep at 1-866-COUNTRY or visit countryfinancial.com. Unity back and ready to roll. They've taken the ball into McNamara territory, and Chandler Cousins just puts that head down and drives forward. Check that, not Cousins. Cousins was kind of standing back there, kind of watching how things were moving along.
Well, they faked the jet sweep, and it was basically just a quarterback power using the extra blocker up front, trying to get any kind of positive yardage with some misdirection, trying to move the McNamara defense.
Rich Lanani has already assigned all his assistants duties to make sure everybody gets into this ball game. To the outside. Cousins with some room to the 20-15-10, a block downfield. Stays in bounds. Yes, touchdown. 33-yard touchdown run for Chandler Cousins, his 25th rushing touchdown of the year, and the Rockets hit the board.
Well, the flag at the 6-yard line, though, Rivestek was the one that you saw make a good block at the end. I don't think it was a hold on him. I don't know who they found somewhere else. It was Rivestek who had the final block, and I had my eyes on it. Looked pretty clean from up here. We'll see if they caught somebody else. It's definitely going to be a hold and negate the touchdown.
Holding, offense, number 3, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
Interesting. That came at about the, about the 6-yard line, so they get it out to the 16. And again, there's a good picture of Rivestek. Thought he got his hands inside. Get another look at this downfield. See Cousins reading the block. And official saw something, quite honestly, that I didn't get from this angle.
So take the points off the board. The Rockets will continue to go. This going to Skylar Shepard. Sticking right with it is Jared Fulford, a sophomore.
Shepard, Kaiser, and Rivestek, 95 catches, 1,325 yards going in. So that's the trio of receivers that they've gone with to get to this level, state runner-up level that they will be.
On the ground to Cousins, picks his way up the middle. Cousins, this time he takes it in, and it is clean. 15 yards for Cousins, and that will officially become his 25th touchdown of the year.
25, and that one we talked about in the first quarter. He said he kind of stays with low paddle and just pops out, and that's what he did. He was engulfed with about 6 or 7 shirts at the line of scrimmage. See it right there, a whole bunch of shirts, and he just, boom, pops out. Kind of like a jack-in-a-box. He just gets out of there in a hurry, and good sportsmanship there. You see getting a little congratulatory pat on the back from Trevor Rapp from Bishop McNamara. Very good sportsmanship.
And the extra point is good, and Chandler Cousins will leave this field. In fact, he will leave this field as his final game as a high school player, and he will have a touchdown in the book behind his name.
Inside handoff, nice block at the point of attack by Luke Patterson. Then look at that sportsmanship right there. That was legitimate.
For Unity, they took it 82 yards in 9 plays. Used up 7 minutes on a running clock and capped off by the 15-yard run from Cousins.
We talked about they'd play hard till the final buzzer. That's all you ask student athletes to do. And those are life lessons to be learned. It's all about competition and relationships. See the relationships right there, you can see it.
You know, and this is interesting too, because, you know, if you're Unity, you could just be kind of saying, okay, you know, we scored, big deal. But you know what? It is a big deal. And then you can see it right there. Cousins getting his congratulations, knowing that that quite possibly could be the last touchdown of his 4-year career. Just the simple handshake. How often do you see that anymore? Just a simple handshake. Peyton Murray, number 79, shaking the hands of Cousins.
You know, we're old enough. We went from like low fives to high fives to fist bumps, okay, to fancy handshakes.
Here's Scott Hamilton still working it. But that's the attitude here that Unity has played when the outcome was, you know, well in hand. They have been going hard at it.
Well, he knew he'd have to play, his team would have to play a special game. We'll have to play a different level, he said, to compete against Bishop McNamara. And he said we have to keep Jonathan Ward inside the tackle box. The very first play of the game set the tone for that when Ward went to the house from, what, 56 yards.
Bell looking as though he wants to pitch. He does to Ward. Ward wanted to pitch it back. He does so. And that will be a penalty. That was tossed forward as they got it to Kevin King. King's got room to run. And they will stop this one. That forward lateral, and a McNamara player is down at the 25-yard line. A Unity player is down at the 25-yard line. And training staffs sprinted out in a hurry.
Don't want to project who that is because I can't get the full number. They're being attended to by, what, 4 or 5 staff members.
And I would say there was about 8 different medical people that sprinted onto the field. Jacob Martin, sophomore, is down on the field. And they are being very careful with him. So the flag was, you saw the series of laterals, the last of which to King was forward.
Well, kind of a strange kickoff return when you think of the score. It's obviously something they wanted to put into tonight's game and utilize it. Here's the first penalty, which the illegal forward pass right there from Ward to King. And then top of your screen right here. Ooh, just a crunching block.
Never saw it coming.
And was there another penalty on that block? Because that was clean. He was squared up. The block was clean.
Illegal forward pass during the return. That penalty is refused. We got targeting, number 19. That penalty is accepted. That player is ejected.
That is Joe Sartain that will not be able to play the final 5 minutes and 52 seconds, a junior.
And I don't know if we can see that again, because I was just describing the fact that I thought it was clean. Targeting would be head-to-head. And I didn't quite see any head-to-head target right there. And that's ejection from the game. Very unfortunate.
Joe Sartain coming for the block. You see in the top left corner of your screen, Sartain, number 19.
Now the call is targeting to the head, and yes, it was a little bit higher as I see it in slow motion there. And that's why they're being so careful. So as we got to, in real time, didn't see it at all. Slow motion, you know, didn't really see it. And then we slowed it down one more time. You can see the head-to-head contact and why they're being so careful right now with Jacob Martin. So good call on a play that never really developed the way that McNamara wanted it to.
Good to see Jacob Martin coming to his feet. He was on the kickoff coverage team for the Rockets. Somewhat unsteady leaving the field.
So a gutsy young man off his feet. 5'9", throwing his body in on special teams. Tip your hat to that young man right there. That is not very big by football stature, but a big heart for that young man.
he will be monitored very closely in the days to come.
And there's Luke Patterson once again, the consummate teammate. Honestly, we've seen him on the screen like 3 times going out of his way, you know, to be around to congratulate or to give support to a teammate.
Now the clock begins its run. Mason, the pitch, and thrown to the ground is Tywan Hollis. And Daniel King did the damage.
6 foot 202 is King. Watch him just run him down from the backside, came in unblocked, had a clear path to the running back, and does a job bringing down Hollis. Just a sophomore getting himself into the state championship game. Good looking picture right there of King, who goes 6 foot 202, a senior, playing his last snaps of his career.
McNamara scored 42 points in the first quarter and a half tonight.
Hey, you guys, who are you yelling for?
That was the halftime score, built it to 50-0 after 3. Touchdown run by Cousins. Got Unity off that goose egg. Third down and long here for McNamara, 3rd and 17.
We had a lot of rain early today, last night and then early today, but right now it's just basically a Thanksgiving weekend fall crisp football night.
There are 2 teams still ready to play tonight. We have one more game remaining, the 4A championship game, and it's going to be a beauty. Phillips and Althoff. Shifting from his right arm to his left arm is Mason, and he will jump out of bounds. He will be short of the first down. Bishop McNamara just moments away from claiming their 5th state championship, all under head coach Rich Zanani, the first since 1987, here in their first appearance in a state championship game since 1998. How about that? A span of 28 years between state championships for the same coach.
Yes.
Rich Zanani will be his 334th win. Only 6 coaches with 300 or more wins.
You go to Bishop McNamara to the stadium, and basically it's a shrine of Coach C, if you will, with all the state tournament appearances, playoff appearances, state titles, and besides the shrine, they have the best pork chop sandwiches that you could possibly imagine at a concession stand.
Well, there you go. And folks will be rushing to Kankakee next fall.
If they keep producing athletes like this, there'll be a lot of people around the neighborhood.
Well, this year they thought they saw coming. A young team last year finished 12-1. Make that 6-4. Lost the first round of the playoffs. Took a 12-1 record into this game. And not surprising, those young men grew up. And a short gain on first down. With the carry was Dylan Stacy.
Unity, what? Probably a 3-hour drive back tonight. And
you know, it's one of those games where you say, you know what, McNamara's a better team.
Yeah.
I mean, they're better than any other team in 3A, and there's an awful lot of larger schools, some of which McNamara's beaten. The near side, just getting down, is Bobby Barnard.
You go back to Unity, you know, avenging 2 earlier losses in the regular season in the playoff run, including, I think many people felt St. Joe's Ogden was a heavy favorite after already had beaten them, but Unity had the guts, the character, the wherewithal to go ahead and win that football game.
Well, how about the last 2 games to get here? 2 teams that you had already lost to, and yet you came from behind to beat both Monticello and SJO. And that's the character and the drive that you've seen here in this second half.
Right, and Rivestedt, coming off the injury, had the game-winning reception with 17 seconds to go in the quarterfinal game. So, you know, that's another pure example of comeback to contribute.
short gain up the middle, and for those young men from Kankakee, it is just a matter of time, and this clock goes to 0-0. It will be the 5th state football championship in their history, the first in 28 years. And McNamara, in dominating fashion, will walk out of DeKalb winners 50-7, your Class 3A state champions. Rich Zanani with his 5th title in his 8th appearance here in a championship ball game.
And they did it with a ground game from the get-go. Jonathan Ward, the first carry of the game, set the tone. Running the football was what they were achieving at a high level all year. It's what they achieved at a high level tonight. Enough passing by Shutter with a combination to Bell to keep things honest, and then a swarming defense that combined to that state championship performance tonight.
A dominating state championship performance and a 50-7 win. It's McNamara over Unity for your 3A title. We'll be back with interviews and awards. That's coming up next. Back at Husky Stadium, both teams gathered around their coaches, but Kelly Krull is gathered around another coach.
Yeah, Coach Zanani, wow. We were just talking about it, over 25 years since your last state championship, and when you look out at all these guys surrounding you right now, what are you most proud of?
Well, it's been a long time, and for a while when we were winning them in the 80s, kids were all used to it in the school and the community, and this is all new for all these kids because it's been so long. So I'm really proud of our senior class and what they've all the loyalty they've had to us, and it just worked out really well for us. We caught fire in the playoffs and kept playing better all the time.
Could you have ever imagined doing it in such a dominating fashion?
No, not at all. I mean, that's what keeps me up at night. You know, you wonder why you lose sleep, but the kids were very focused and determined to get this thing done. And we were in it last year. We were in the playoffs. We were very young. We got knocked out early, so. But we knew this was going to be a pretty good year, but this is special.
Well, absolutely. Enjoy this one. We're going to talk to one of the special guys on this team, Jonathan Ward, now.
Great player, believe me. Great young man.
Thanks a lot. Jonathan, there you have it. Great player, great young man from your coach. You guys set out to do this at the beginning of the year, but what does it feel like now to know that you are the state champions?
It feels great, you know. There's no better feeling than this feeling. And there's no better way to end the season. You know, all the hard work and dedication that we put in during the summer and during the season to get better each week, it just finally paid off here in DeKalb. And, you know, wouldn't trade this feeling for nothing in the world.
Coach mentioned time after time the senior group that you guys have. Will you tell us what's so special having done that with those guys and through the summer to be at this point now?
Yeah, it's a great achievement, you know. The whole senior class, we have the attitude that we refuse to lose, and that's what got us here, you know. We believe in fighting throughout the whole entire game. Like, even if we're up, you know, we believe that, you know, we can come, the other team can come back because we've been in the situation where we've been down and we've come back. So anything's possible. We just keep pushing until the game is over.
What will you remember most about this year?
Coach Zanani, he's an awesome coach, you know. He's the best coach that ever coached me, you know. He's always said that it's more than being a champion just on the field, you know, off the field as well. And he's taught us that the whole senior class, the whole football team, he taught us how to be young men. And that was the ultimate goal right there, which was to be a young man and a young team full of men.
Well, you enjoy this one tonight. You guys have a lot to celebrate. Congratulations, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you very much, Kelly. Very humble young man as we go to the awards platform down at the north end of the field, and there are the Unity Rockets. It's the first time that those folks, some of them, have won a state championship trophy in second place. Last time was in 2012. It's the 5th second place trophy they have in 15 years. You talk about an accomplishment. not just what they did this year, Mark, but what they have done over that span. That is program powerhouse right there.
Well, I was just going to say, you're talking about football programs here in both of these schools. These institutions are synonymous with playoff appearances, synonymous with state championship appearances, and you see the trophy being hoisted right there. Unity very, very proud of the season that they had. A couple losses back-to-back early in the season, the playoff victories we talked about, the comebacks in the quarter and semifinals, and they had a championship season, although it was not a championship game tonight.
Back on September 25th, the Rockets were 3-2. Probably the last thought they had in their mind after being shut out was being here playing on the final weekend of the season. So they'll finish with a 10-4 record, but the team with the 13-1 mark and a state championship trophy will be the folks from Kankakee, the Fighting Irish from McNamara. Rich Zananti picking up his 334th win in 41 years, his 5th state championship. As you heard him just telling Kelly moments ago, not about him, but the experience that these guys have now that they have won a state title.
Coaches always want to credit their athletes, and justifiably so, but I'll tell you what, you have two quality coaches. There's one in your screen right there that flat out know how to win and flat out know how to direct a program. And what a poignant statement it was by Jonathan Ward, saying, you know, coaches taught us how to be young men, and that's the biggest compliment any of us can get as coaches.
Well, Rich Zananti says, you know, we've had quite a run in the playoffs. I'd say you've had quite a run during the season. The only loss coming to a Class 5A semifinalist, that was St. Lawrence. Otherwise, McNamara has dominated, and behind those two young men right there, to the left, Jericho Johnson, to the right, Jonathan Ward. They're together on the field, and they are together on the trophy stand. Your 3A state champions from Bishop McNamara. And everybody getting their imprint on that trophy right here. Congratulations, man. Hang on to it, though.
It's like they're kissing the Stanley Cup, huh?
There you go. Yeah.
And that will travel, too. He'll be around the hallways of McNamara High School on Monday.
Today's our trophy. Let's go.
Again, the Fighting Irish came out, and they dominated from the beginning. The first play of the game, they take it 56 yards, 42 points in the first quarter and a half. Bishop McNamara, their 5th state title in history, but for those guys, it's state championship number 1. 50-7 over Unity for the 3A state title. Congratulations to Jonathan Ward and all of the Fighting Irish here tonight.